Hey everybody, it's Chris back with another review for the Blue Collar Bear Gourmet. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this channel, your first time here, my name is Chris. I'm the Blue Collar Bear Gourmet, and I like to review craft beers. I like to keep my beers around the $2 range. So, because I like demonstrating to the world at large that you don't have to spend a lot of money in order to enjoy a craft beer. So that's the story behind this channel. Sorry, that was my cat climbing the patio. Today's selection. Well, let me backtrack a bit here, guys. I kind of stuck my foot in my mouth, and I said that what I had was a six-pack with what I thought was 5 varieties of this particular beer in it. I don't. What I had, in fact, was a six-pack of 2 different varieties, both of which I've already reviewed. And then I've got one that was loose, that was one in and of itself. And anyway, the long and short of it is, guys, I thought I was going to have 5 different cannabis beers, cannabis infused beers from Two Roots. As it turns out, I only have 3. So this will be the last one. There's not 2 more coming. I apologize for that. It'll teach me to stick my foot in my mouth and not bother to look at what I actually have before I start telling people what I've got. Anyway, today's selection is the Sonder blondeale from Two Roots. And as I mentioned, this is a cannabis-infused beer. Each of these beers have a 0.5 ABV. Obviously, the concentration is more on the cannabis and less on the alcohol. However, I've got to say both of the beers I had previously from this particular selection were pretty good. Um, the IPA was okay. I got to say though that the wheat ale was really good, and I'm not a big fan of wheat ales. Never have been a heavy fan, but I got to say that it was pretty good. It really was. So anyway, those are the 2 beers I've tried before. The Sonder Blonde Ale. When I went to the Two Roots website, it describes this as a Kolsch style ale. So I grabbed my sponge in order to drink from that, and I don't see any reason to keep talking any further. Let's get cracking and see what we got here. I will say that the the yeah the lids on these are a little complicated, but not overly complicated. Like I said, if somebody with my limited intelligence could figure it out, then obviously it can be done, but it's just a couple of different steps, that's all. And there you see it. Okay. I'm going to describe that as about medium carbonation, not overly carbonated. I'd say between all 3 of the beers, a rather flimsy head seems to be a characteristic of the Cannabeers. Um, Now that's not saying that that's a bad thing necessarily. It's just symptomatic of it. I've had plenty of good beers whose head dissipated rather quickly, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But this is their blonde ale. As I said, it is when I went to their website, it's described as being Kolsch style, so that's why I've got the sponge. And let's bring it to the nose and see what we got going here. Oh, very yeasty, very doughy. If you ever walked into a bakery, like, right after they first opened and there's still that yeast smell coming from the back, that's what I'm getting here. Yeah, dinner rolls and yeast is exactly what I smell. Big amounts of yeast and some, yeah, probably better not top that off just yet. Okay, so we're still seeing plenty of carbonation. And if you're wondering why, in fact, I'm wearing something other than just my usual short sleeve blue shirt, yeah, it's not very often it gets so cold in Vegas you can actually see your breath, but that's why. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the beer and let's get to drinking some of it, shall we? Cheers. Well, honestly, it tastes a little bit like a Pilsner, which is fine by me because Pilsners are one of my favorite varieties. In fact, I'd say in the lighter beers, Pilsner is definitely my favorite variety. This has a, oh, don't you just love the hiccups, especially after one swallow of beer? I'm going to say I'm going to describe it as about a medium mouthfeel. There's some spikiness to it. Um, Overall, there's not a whole lot of flavor. And one of the things I like about Pilsners is that usually they have a very subtle flavor. In fact, I tried a new Pilsner from Trumer and really, really liked it. It has a very subtle flavor, as does this. Um, it is a, it is a Kolsch style. It is a Kolsch style blonde, and I'm definitely um, that yeastiness tells me for sure that it probably used Kolsch yeast. I've used Kolsch yeast in a few different beers before. We've even used the Kolsch yeast in a lager, and this is uh, this is well, it's okay. Nothing particularly noteworthy about it. I'll put it to you this way: if it wasn't a cannabis infused beer, I don't know that I would be ordering it at a bar. But I just it's there's not a whole lot to it, to be honest with you. There's just not a whole lot of flavor. Um, and in a medium mouth feel, no alcohol burn, obviously, with the point 0.5 ABV. That's pretty much what you'd expect. Uh, I don't know. It's not a bad beer. I'm still going to give it. Yeah, I would give it a 3.25, but it comes in the can, so I'm going to give it a 3.5. Those who watch this channel regularly know that I am a fan of canned beers. So, anyway, there you have it. Still has plenty of carbonation. You can still see bubbles popping through and hitting the surface. And I don't know. Like I said, it's not a bad beer. It's just not particularly noteworthy. So, one more time, I want to give a thanks to my friend Jim Robbins Photography. He's the reason I was able to get these beers. And the one quick note that I left out of the beginning and kind of forgot was that 18 people have reviewed this on Untapped, giving it a cumulative score of 3.56. So, as you can tell, it hadn't been out for a long time. Nobody has rated it on Rate Beer. None of my friends have rated it on Untapped. So it is fairly new. It's a fairly new concept, and I wouldn't be surprised as time goes by um, if you didn't see just some slight tweaking in some of the recipes from Two Roots for these cannabis-infused beers. They also have a stout, and I forget what the other variety is. See, I thought I was going to have them, but I don't. Uh, anyway, until next time, gang, drink good beer. Don't break the bank doing it. And cheers. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Thanks.